Hello, in this video I'm gonna explain every world setting in Palworld. So if you want to customize the difficulty but you are not sure how these sliders work, how do you increase or decrease something, then let me quickly explain. So we're gonna start with day and night time speed. Day and night time speed, they work in a way that if we decrease the value, then the longer will be day or night. So if you want to have the longest night and day possible, we want to set it to 0.1. But if we want to have short day and short night, then we need to set higher values. Then we have EXP rate, capture rate, and PAL appearance rate. In all of these cases, if we want to have higher stats, so for instance, if you want to receive more EXP, then we want to increase the slider, the value of the slider. And the same goes with capture rate. If you want to have higher capture rate, we want to increase the slider. And the same goes with appearance rate. If you want more pals to spawn, then we want to increase this value. And we want the opposite effect, and of course we need to move to the left. Then we have damage from pals multiplier. The lower the number is, the less damage you and your pals will take from wild pals during combat. This also decreases the damage output of your pals. And damage to pals multiplier. This one works in a way that if you set higher number, then more damage you and your pals will do with 2 pals during a combat. This also increases the damage your pals receive, so keep that in mind. Then we have the hunger depletion rate, and the lower the number is, the longer it takes for your pals to get hungry. And we have the pal stamina reduction rate, so the lower the number is, the longer it takes for your pals stamina to run out. So if we want to have higher stamina for our pals, we want to decrease this value. And then we have pal auto health regeneration rate. The higher the number is, the faster your pal will recover health. So if you want to have faster recover, then we want to increase it. Then we have pal sleep health regeneration rate. Health regeneration rate in Palbox. So the higher the number is, the faster your pal will recover health when inside the Palbox. So if you have, for instance, 10 minutes at 1, you want to have, let's say 5 minutes, then you probably want to set it to 2, although I'm not sure if that's precisely how it works. But the general idea is that the higher value, the lower time it is. So then we have damage from player multiplier. So the higher the number is, the greater the damage output of your character. So if you want to deal more damage, you want to move that slider to the right. Then we have damage to player multiplier. And this one, pretty much if we want to receive less damage, then we want to decrease this value. And then we have the player hunger depletion rate, which works the same way as for pals, but for players. So the lower the number is, the longer it takes for us to get hungry. So if you want to get hungry less often, you want to decrease this value. Then we have the player stamina reduction rate. The lower this number is, the longer it takes for you to run out of stamina. So if you want to have higher stamina, you want to decrease this value. Then we have player auto health regeneration rate. And the higher this number is, the faster your character will recover health. And for sleep health regeneration rate, for the player, the higher the number is, the faster your character will recover health when sleeping. Then we have damage to structure multiplier. The lower the number is, the less damage your structures and builds will take. So if you want stronger structures that will take longer to destroy, you want to move to the left. Then we have structure deterioration rate. In this case, the lower this number is, the slower the deterioration will be for structures and builds. And if we set this to 0, then there will be no deterioration at all. So if you don't want deterioration of your structures, then you want to set this to 0. If you want to have deterioration but slower or weaker, then you want to set it to, let's say, 0.1, 0.2. And if you want the deterioration to happen faster, then you want to increase this value. Then we have maximum number of dropped items in a world. So this is pretty much self-explanatory. And then we have the gatherable items multiplier. The higher the number is, then the more resources you will receive from mining, lumbering, and so on and so forth. So if you, for instance, get ores, then if you increase this number, you will get more ores. If you decrease it, then you will receive less ores. Then we have gatherable objects health multiplier. So the lower this number is, the faster objects or resources like rocks will disintegrate when mining. So for instance, if you want ore to have less health, so you want to destroy them faster, then you want to decrease this value. However, keep in mind that this change might apply only after the stone has been, the first one that already was in your world was destroyed. So for instance, if you find an ore and then you destroy it, if you find an ore and then you change the value of the setting and then you will destroy it, then the time for you to destroy that ore will be the same, but the next one that will spawn will be changed. So then the change will be made. So if you already have an ore that is spawned, you will need to destroy it first with the old setting, and then the next one and every after that will be now adjusted. Alright, moving on. We have gatherable objects respawn interval. The lower this number is, the faster resources will respawn. So if you want, for instance, the ores to respawn more often, then you want to lower this value. Remember, lower. So if you want more and more ores, the respawn of ores, you want them to happen more often, more quicker, then you want to decrease this value. However, from what I know, this option might also be bugged a little bit. So if changing anything in this slider doesn't feel like changing anything actually, so if you make some changes over here, change the value, and it seems like it doesn't work, then this might be just bugged at this moment in the game. Then we have dropped items multiplier, and the higher this number is, the more items and materials you will receive when defeating a pal. So if you want to get more items from pals after catching them or killing them, then you want to increase this value. Then we have the time in hours to incubate massive eggs, and this one is, I guess, pretty straightforward. The lower the number is, the faster the eggs will incubate. So if you want to hatch eggs faster, you want to decrease this value. And the hours is pretty much the longest possible hour or hours that can be for an egg. So for instance, let's say you have a huge dragon egg and the conditions are not in favor for the egg, so it is, for instance, very cold for that egg. You will have the hatching egg, the incubating egg timer set to 2 hours if you set this value to 2. Then we have the raid events. I guess this is pretty straightforward. So if you want to have events, the raid events, if you want to be raided, then you can turn this on and off. Although this might also be bugged. I think someone in the comments in a video said that although they changed this setting, this didn't work. Although this might work when you start the world, not when you already have the world and you made the changes afterwards. So this might be possible, although I'm not sure. So this also might be bugged. Then we have the death penalty, which the description is obviously seen, so we can set it to no drops, drop all items except equipment, drop all items, and drop all items and all pals on team. Then we have max number of guilds. If you play on single player, then you probably don't worry about it, but if you play with others, then this will pretty much change the number of guilds that can be active at any given time. And then we also have the max pals working at base. So the higher this number is, the more pals you can use in your base. And you will need to complete base missions to increase the capacity. So if you want to use, for instance, 20 pals in your base, you will need to reach level 20 at your base. And these are all word settings explained. Thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next videos. Bye!